Hey guys, as you can see, my desk here is a little bit of a mess, and the reason is it looks like the hard drive in my PlayStation 4 has died. I started getting an error. I'm sure some of you may have come across this before. The error is CE343358, and if you search for this error online, you will see a lot of people saying that you can boot into safe mode, etc. to resolve the situation. But I was unable to resolve that. I was unable to boot into safe mode. So what I thought next was to reinstall the software, just reinstall the whole OS. And if I jump over to my monitor, you can see that when I connected this up using an enclosure, it's giving me the error, the request failed due to a fatal device hardware error. And that's suggesting that basically the sectors are damaged, the hard drive's damaged. There's some sort of problem there. If I jump over to my overhead camera, you can actually see the USB stick. That's got the PlayStation Update software on there, which I was hoping to update. But this is the hard drive. This is the FireCuda 2TB FireCuda hard drive. It's kind of like a hybrid hard drive. It's got like a little bit of SSD cache for speeding up, loading and things like that. But it's quite popular with gamers. I've had it for about 3 years, but it looks like I will have to return this. Now, the interesting thing is that this is the last hard drive, the last mechanical hard drive that I bought 3 years ago. I have not bought another hard drive since then. And the reason is they suck. They absolutely suck. I'm sick to death of mechanical hard drives, spindle drives. I'm sick to death of them dying. They always seem to die. And over the last few years, I have made a point of not buying any spindle drives, any 2.5 inch or 3.5 inch mechanical drives. I've moved towards SSDs. For my laptop, my gaming laptop, I've got this 4TB 2.5 inch SSD, but generally speaking, I've got NVMe. So I've got these kind of smaller, you can see it there, the smaller M2 NVMe drives. And I have these in like 3 different or 4 different laptops. I've got 2 of these in my main PC there. The only places I really have mechanical hard drives now are gaming consoles. So I've got it in the PS4 and I've got it in the Wii U. And I do remember at the time that I was thinking about getting an SSD for the PS4. But at the time, I really would have had to get a really small amount of storage. In that the booting times and loading times, there really wasn't a huge benefit of getting an SSD at the time because it was like 3 times, 4 times the price. It just worked out cheaper to get that because I had a little bit of an SSD for speed, but it had the storage that I needed. In hindsight, well, it's one of those things. In hindsight, maybe I should have got the SSD, but it probably was the right decision at the time. And it's under a 5-year warranty, so I can return it. But I have made a conscious decision not to buy mechanical hard drives. The last ones I bought before that one, this probably goes back 4 or 5 years. I've got 2 of these. I can't find the other one. This is the My Passport by Western Digital. I've got another one. It was designed for the Mac, the Apple Mac, and it's used as a time machine. I think this one works and the other one kind of works but doesn't. And what I mean by that is the other one, I lost all the files. There was a bad sector, but I was able to delete everything, clear the whole hard drive, reformat it again. And it is working, but I don't rely on that hard drive or this hard drive now to store files that are important because I always know that there is a risk of those files disappearing at one point. And the thing is, over the last 20 years, before SSDs were popular, I've probably had, well, as far as external drives like that, I probably had about 3 or 4 failing. As far as drives inside my PC, I probably had 3 or 4 failing as well, like Western Digital, Seagate. I'm actually all the major brands, to be honest. And that's the thing, I realise that failure rates are an issue for all hard drives. If you look at the stats out there, certain hard drives like this, they might have like a 10% or 5% failure rate. They might even be higher for certain hard drives. Honestly, it will surprise you how many hard drives fail and the actual failure rate. And the companies know that they fail that much. They obviously don't point this out in their marketing material. Now, SSDs can fail as well. But speaking from experience, firstly, you can check the health of drives. You can check the health of an SSD. You can install the software. You can always kind of I know you can do that with mechanical drives as well, but it's kind of more active on SSDs where you can see, you know, it's got like lifespan of 86% and things like that, which means that if you think that it's been degraded, if you think the quality of that hard drive has been degraded, you can copy the files over somewhere else and then, you know, sell or destroy or do whatever you want with it. But mechanical drives, it just seems to be that there's no indication that something's going to go wrong. It's just one day all your files are gone, and then you're doing this kind of thing where you're trying to recover files and all that. Obviously not a big issue with the PS4 because files are stored on the cloud and all that. But yeah, for the most part, I stay clear of mechanical hard drives. I do recognise that SSDs can fail. They do fail. But in my experience, I've probably bought over a dozen SSDs at this point, probably more actually when I think about it. And they've never failed. I've never had one fail on me. And yet, I've probably had about a third. It must be over a third. It feels that way of mechanical drives fail over time. It's an absolute pain in the bum. And this is why I just don't go near mechanical drives anymore. Yeah, it's one of those things. I'm hoping to get a return of this hard drive. I'll probably will just take the cheaper, easier route and just, if I get a return, I'll just install the OS, install all the games again. But if for any reason I don't get that hard drive returned and I have to buy again, I will 100% buy an SSD. And it's not just because of the faster booting times and loading times and all that kind of stuff. Performance aside, reliability is a big concern and mechanical drives just absolutely suck. Rant over.